Fine, I'm recording this session and now I will make a new project called day 5, and in this we will move further on. Yesterday I discussed about basic thing, that is how to find an element on the page using ID, right? In Gmail we were lucky enough that all the elements on the page had got an ID, right? Now suppose, just hold on. Yeah, suppose I go to gmail.com, right? And what I need to do is that I need to suppose read this text. Okay, I need to read the text known as experience the ease and simplicity of Gmail. Right now, this is the text. It's got no ID. Okay, so how do we read that? To read this kind of thing, we can use CSS selector or we can use XPath. So I'm going to talk about XPath right now. Okay, what is an XPath? XPath is like the address of the element. Okay, there are various types of XPaths, right? But let us see how the XPath is made first. All right, so there is, hold on. There are two types of XPaths. One is complete XPath or partial XPath. Complete XPath is also known as absolute XPath. Okay, now XPath is like the address of the element on the page. Alright, now to find XPath in Firefox, it is quite easy. You just need to install a tool known as Firefox on the top of Firebug. Make sure Firebug is installed on your machine, right? Then go to Google. In Mozilla itself, go to Google and type download Firefox. Okay, Firefox is the add-on which works on the top of Firebug. Firebug should be present. Okay, so you go there and add this to Firefox. Make sure you open the link in Firefox and install it. Right, you have to restart your browser. And now, once you go to Gmail, right, you will have the Firepath option here. Okay, this is the Firepath option. Just right. So under this you get the XPath. Okay, to do this you have to make sure that Firepath is there on your machine. Right. So sorry, Firebug is there on your machine. Now, if you actually go forward and suppose I look at this username field, then I'll get the XPath of this username field. The XPath is generated like this from the base of the HTML document. Okay, it is based on the tag. That is, there is the HTML tag under which there are head and body. I need to go inside the body tag. So this is the body tag. Inside the body tag, there is a division. You go inside that division. Inside this division, there are various divisions. Fine. I need to go inside the second division. So you simply move inside the second division. So it is based on the tags, right? Till the time you get the input tag which is for the username. Okay, so this is like the address of the element. XPath is like the address of the element. Okay, this XPath is absolute XPath. I have checked this generate absolute XPath, so I'm getting the absolute XPath. Absolute XPath starts from the base of the HTML document. Okay, so the complete XPath or absolute XPath, they start from the base of the document, that is HTML. Okay, and this question being asked, is XPath reliable? Right. We need to use XPath only when last option ID name is first. No, it's not like that, Naveen. Sometimes people just use just the XPath. Okay, just hold on, I'll tell you. Right. Now suppose they are reliable, they are very reliable. Okay. So now suppose I uncheck the option generate absolute XPath. Yes. Another question is XPath consistent across all the browsers? Yes. XPath is always consistent across all the browsers. You will not have a scenario wherein the XPath is different in Mozilla and different in different in Chrome until or unless the developer has made the website which opens differently in different browsers. But this never happens. Websites they open the same way in different browsers. So the XPath they also remain the same. Okay, right? Now generate absolute XPath. I have unchecked this option. I will not generate absolute XPaths. Right. Now I am going to generate partial XPaths. Now if I look at my username field, I get an XPath like this. This is partial XPath based on the ID of the element. Double slash, it starts with a double slash, which means that this is a partial XPath. Okay. Star means the tag name. Okay. This is the concept of partial XPath. There's a double slash, then there's the tag name of the element. Okay. Then the ID of the element is equal to the ID. Right. Okay. Instead of tag name, it has put star, which is a kind of regular expression. Right. So instead of star, you can keep it star or you can make it int. There is an element with the input tag whose ID is email. Right. If I keep it as star only, this will mean that any element on the page whose ID is email. Fine. Right. Suppose I am on another page. For example, I am on timesofIndia.com. Okay, and on this page I need to get the XPath for the headlines. Fine. So if you look at the headlines, then this is the XPath. Right. What it is saying, there is an element with the ID survey. Right. If you look at the code, see that there is a division with the ID survey 1. Right. That's why it is writing. Instead of star, we can keep division. There is a division with the ID survey 1. Under that, there is another division. So under that, see that this is the division, right? And under this, there is another division. Okay, so there are two divs, right? And under the second division, you have another division. Fine. So this is the another division, and then you have the h1 tag and the anchor tag for the link. So h1 and anchor. So this is the XPath for the headlines, right? Suppose I want to read the headlines. Okay, so I can simply make a new class named as Times of India. Write WebDriver driver equals to new Firefox driver and driver dot get. I did not include the Selenium jars in the project. I need to include the jars as well. Right. Driver dot get http timesofindia.com. Fine. After going there, fire the command driver dot find element by the XPath. You give the XPath of the headings. Right. What will this line do? This will find the headings. And from the headings, from the web element headings, get the text. Take the text in a string and print the headings. So if you run this code, hold on, there's another question being asked by Veena. For the GWT elements, XPath is different in I in Firefox. Then there's a way out. Veena, you can make your own XPaths, which I'll talk about in some time. So these are the XPaths from Firefox. Okay, so you go to this site and hold on. Nothing is printed. Okay. Hold on, let me run this again. Wait, the site is still loading, and yeah, you see that the headlines gets printed, right? Similarly, if I would have wanted, I could have taken the complete XPath. I could have selected the option generate absolute XPath and taken this, right? So this could be the complete XPath for headlines. I could have also used this, but which one do you prefer? Okay, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer complete XPath, or do you prefer working with partial XPath? Okay, so the thing is, uh, you should not work with complete XPath until or unless you have a very urgent need. Fine, when you are left with no other option, because you know what, complete XPath starts from the base of the document, right? And suppose anything goes wrong tomorrow, fine. What do you mean by wrong? there is another division added in between by the developer. Fine. Then you will have to actually go back and correct all the XPaths. Okay, but the partial XPath, it is also little longer. Right? Both are faster. There is no comparison as such. Okay, both are good. Right? This XPath out here, it is starting somewhere from here. Probably this division has an ID. So if tomorrow something changes in between, right, you don't really have to worry. Okay, but the advantage of complete XPath is that it pinpoints your element. Okay, for example, this is an XPath which tells that there is an input field on the page whose ID is email. Now that input field can be present out here, or out here, or out here. An input field with ID email, it can be present anywhere. But if you take the complete XPath, this will start from the base of the document and it will point towards that element. It will pinpoint towards that element. I hope you're getting my point, right? So I will talk about this one as well. That is, how do we deal with elements which have got same IDs or same attributes, right? We'll talk slowly about them as well. Fine. So this is how you manage your XPaths, right? Now, how do you calculate the XPaths on Chrome? It is quite easy. Suppose you are on this Google page only, right? In Chrome, it is inbuilt, right? There's a Chrome inspector which I was talking about. You right click on the element, you get the option inspect element, okay, and the element will be highlighted. You simply have to right click on the element and you need to select the option copy XPath, okay, and paste the XPath here. In the XPath, instead of double quotes, you have to replace the double quotes with single quotes. Okay, you have to replace the double quotes with single quotes in the XPath. So the question known as here is the question that by Anuj, that I have an element who is like this, that it's span with an ID this. So you can make an XPath like this, that is, there is a span with ID equals to this span. So this will identify the element. Fine. You can use Firebug as well, right? Firebug will also give you this XPath. Then you can simply write a driver dot find element by the XPath, and you give the XPath this XPath. Dot get text is the function which retrieves the text. You got my point? Fine. Pretty simple, right? It's not a big deal. Only thing is, to many people it feels a little confusing. Now you can also make your own customized XPaths, which I will be talking about in later classes. Right now, right. So this is how you can use the XPath. You can simply find the XPath and you can use by.xpath and you can use that particular command. Fine. Now again talking with you, if you look carefully, okay, I'll talk about the concept of Firefox profile now. Okay, if I run this code, then you see that a Firefox window opens. Right now, it has a bookmark, and, but you will see that this window is very different than the regular window of Firefox which you have on your machine. For example, on the regular Firefox, I have got the add-on for Firebug, which is not there on this window. Okay, or for example, I had this bookmark section in which I had various bookmarks which are not there in this Firefox. Okay, now many times it happens that you want to investigate the application in Firefox, right, in the page in which Selenium opens it, right. For example, this page, Selenium is opening this Firefox window. You want to use Firebug in this window, fine, in order to investigate an element. Okay, so many times you are not able to do that, right? You get stuck because you don't have any Firebug out here. So why is Firebug not present? Why is this Mozilla window just like a fresh Mozilla window which is installed on your machine? Okay, this is because of the concept of Firefox profiling. Okay, do you know about Firefox profiling concept? Does anybody know? Okay, so now Firefox profiling is like, I'll just tell you. For example, in your home, you have your PC, right? Now you want that your brother is also sharing your PC with you. Okay. Now you want that when you open up Firefox, you should be seeing your own set of bookmarks and all, your own set of settings, right? When your brother opens Firefox, he should be seeing his set of bookmarks and his set of settings. Okay, so how is this possible? This is possible. Firefox lets you create multiple instances of Firefox on machine, right? And you can start any instance when you want. Hold on, I'll tell you. Right? This is the concept is known as Firefox profiling. Okay, you just go to File and Exit menu. Okay, go to File, Exit, and close Firefox. Make sure you close it from File, Exit, and you do not close it from the cross. Right, and then go to Start Run and type the command firefox.exe -p profile manager. Fine, and click on OK. So you will have this kind of window open up. The title of the window is Firefox Choose Profile. This is the default profile which is installed on your machine. Suppose I create a new profile known as Selenium. Okay, suppose I create a new profile known as Selenium, right? No, it is not similar to Google Chrome. It is not similar to Google Chrome. Okay, I have created a profile called Selenium and finish. So Selenium profile would be there out here. Okay, and when I click on this profile and I select start profile, so what happens is a Firefox window opens up. Now this window is just like a fresh Firefox installed on your machine. On this profile, suppose I go to Google and I bookmark the Google page, then I go to download Firebug, and in Firebug I go and hold on, I add the Firebug to Firefox, and in this profile I also have got Firebug. Right, in this profile I have the Google bookmark. Right, now suppose tomorrow I have to open the default profile. I can close Firefox from file exit menu and go here, type the same command and start the other default profile. Now this default profile will have its own set of settings, its own set of bookmarks, right? Okay, so this is what the profiling is, right? This is what the concept of profiling is, right? Now when Selenium starts a Firefox driver, okay, it initializes Firefox. What it does is that programmatically, internally, it creates its own profile. Okay, it creates a profile programmatically and it launches that profile. That profile is just blank. If you run the code, you will find that the profile which is created by Selenium and which is launched is just like a blank Firefox window. Okay, it's got nothing inside it, right? So we can instruct Selenium to open up a profile which is already existing. For example, I made the profile known as Selenium. I can instruct Selenium to open up the profile called Selenium. Fine. Why is this required? Why do we need profiling in Firefox? There are various reasons, right, why we need profiling. Okay. There are various reasons, like sometimes you want Firebug to be present in Mozilla in which test runs, right? So I already have the Firebug in the Selenium profile, right? I can launch this profile and Firebug will be present in that profile. Okay, right? Secondly, at times we have to test HTTPS websites, so for that it is required. Fine. Another important usage is sometimes you have to test Android. You have to test using Android driver. Okay. Video number 43 is on Android driver. Those of you who have registered for the course, they can have a look at it. Okay. In Android driver, again, you have to use the concept of Firefox profiling. Right. You have to change the user agent and all. Right. So again, that is required. So these are some of the instances in which Firefox profiling is required. Right. Now, how do I go forward and launch my profile Selenium out here. Okay, to understand that you need to understand the concept of constructors in Java language. Alright, you need to understand the concept of constructors. So to understand that, I'll make a new class known as say car. Okay, and in this car class I will make a function, I will make a string called as name of the car, right? String price of the car, right? And I will make a new class known as test car. Right now, out here in test car, I'll create the object of the car class. Suppose I create two objects, C1 and C2. Then I write C1 dot name is say Audi. C1 dot price is some price. Similarly, C2 dot name is Jaguar, and C2 dot price is some price. Fine. So I'll keep the price as integer, right? So every car object which I create, I have to initialize the properties of that object. Okay. Now we are lucky enough that I just put up two properties of the car class. What if I had around 20 properties, 20? Then would I be initializing every property like this? The answer is no. Okay, you don't do it like this. Rather, what you do is that you make a constructor in the car class. What is a constructor? Suppose I write over here public car. A constructor, hold on, is something whose name is same as the name of the class. Okay, but it's got no return type. There is no return type to constructor. Alright, so out here, if I go to test car.java and if I create the object of the car class 2 times, fine. Whenever I write new car, what will happen? The constructor of the car class will be called. Okay. So if I run this code, then you say inside constructor printing 2 times because I am creating the object 2 times. If I create the object 3 times, suppose I again write new car, I just create the object, I don't give it any reference. Fine. If I run this, constructor will be called 3 times. Fine. So the constructor is actually called as many times as you have the different objects created, right? Now I can have one more form of this constructor like this, public car, which accepts the name and price. Okay, this constructor, it accepts nothing. This constructor, it accepts the name and the price of the car. In this I will write name equals to n, price equals to c. Right now, if you observe carefully, then the name of the constructor is same as the name of the class, but in both the constructors the arguments, they are different. Okay, this thing is known as overloading, right? For example, I have a function like public. I'm just telling you because it can be asked in the interviews. Int a comma int b. This is a function called add, which takes in two numbers and it adds them. Suppose. Similarly, I can have another function known as public void add, which takes in three numbers: int a, int b, int c. So this is again overloaded form of add function. One add function just takes in two arguments, the other add function takes three arguments. So overloading is nothing but same name but different number of arguments and different types of arguments. Okay, so this is just for your understanding, and now we'll come back to the main thing, that is the car constructor. Now this is the constructor which accepts the name and the price of the car. So you can make the object on the fly. You can write car C3 equals to new car, say BMW, like this. Okay, and car C4 equals to new car, say Honda, and some price. So on the fly, your object will be created. Along with it, the object would be initialized as well. The BMW will go inside the name, the price will go inside P, and the object's initialization of the object will be done. Okay, so the same concept of constructors, we use it in Firefox profiling, right? So now we will see how to launch Selenium profile, which I just created in my machine. Okay, again repeating something, Firefox profile is something like a different instance of Firefox in every machine, sorry, in your machine. You can create it by going to file exit and then go to run and give the command firefox.exe -p profile manager, and you can create a profile from here. Okay, so if you have to launch Selenium profile, then you have to create the object of a class known as profile ini. This is an internal class in Selenium. Okay, and then you have to write inside it. Basically, profiles ini class, when you create it, it represents all the Firefox profiles which are there in your current system. Okay, profiles ini class, it kind of represents all Firefox profiles which are there in your current system, right? Now from all the profiles you get the profile called as Selenium. Okay, these are all the profiles, and from it you get the profile known as Selenium. And get profile function returns you the object of a class known as Firefox profile. Okay, so you write over here Firefox profile, my profile equals to this, import Firefox profile, right? So this is your profile. This Firefox profile represents the profile on your machine, the Firefox profile on your machine. So when you start Firefox, you pass over the object reference of my profile in the constructor of Firefox driver. If you look at Firefox driver in seleniumhq.org, if you look at this, right, and hold on, just a minute, my Firefox is stuck. 1 minute. Yeah, it's fine now. Yeah, if you look at the Java docs, and if you go to Firefox driver, this is Firefox driver in class. Now inside it you have the constructor summary. Inside every class you will find constructor summary. This is the normal Firefox constructor which we use, and there is one Firefox constructor which accepts the object reference of Firefox profile and it will launch that particular profile. So that's what we are doing. I create the object of Firefox driver and I gave the profile, my profile, which is for the profile Selenium on the machine. So if you run this code, then you will see this browser opens, but it is launching the profile Selenium. Okay, it will have the bookmarks. In bookmarks it will have Google, right? It will have Firebug over here, right? This is Firebug, fine. So this is what we wanted, right? So there are other usages of Firefox profiling as well, right? It is used especially in Android driver to test HTTPS websites and all, everything. Okay, now hold on. This kind of Firefox profiling concept is not there in Chrome or IE. Don't think that the same will be there in Chrome or IE. No, it is only there in Mozilla. Only Mozilla supports profiling. None of the other browsers it supports profiling. Right? Any questions from anybody regarding this? Any questions from anybody regarding profiling concepts and all? Anything? It is similar to Google Chrome. Not exactly. Google Chrome has got no profiling concept. You got the point, right? Why do we need profiling? No, we don't use Firefox mostly for Selenium. We use all the browsers. Okay. Like if you have to use the Chrome for same example, like I can just change my driver to Chrome driver. That's it. Right. So I don't have IE with me, so I can show you on IE, but I can show you on Firefox and Chrome. Right. Okay. So this was about profiling, right? In which in the constructor you pass over the object of the profile which you have, right? And then you can start using the website just like the normal way, using XPaths and all everything. Okay. So I hope you have the yesterday's recorded sessions and all everything, right? So we will get today's recorded session as well. Okay, I think it's more than enough. I've taught you a lot of things. I taught you XPath. I taught you about profiling concepts and all everything. Okay, so I will stop here for today. The trial classes are over.